Chipotle has been a favorite amongst office workers since its conception, myself included. Whenever I go into the office, I can see a Chipotle bag or two just by looking around. However, that comes at a price, literally. And I don't usually eat out during the week a lot, but when I do, it's when I'm in the office. You can usually find me around lunchtime at the Chipotle line with my coworkers, picking up a burrito. Now, I love Chipotle, but those $14 burritos, they add up. And as a self-proclaimed Mr. Krabs, I'll do anything to save a quick buck, even if that means having to master a whole skill. So today I'm spending a bunch of money to recreate my favorite burrito, only to save a couple of dollars. All right, let's go to Chipotle, grab a burrito, and see what we can do with it. I live in New York, which means I have to walk everywhere. And unfortunately, the nearest Chipotle is like 8 miles away. Okay, that's an exaggeration, but it definitely feels like 8 miles. Shout out to Eminem. And we're finally here. I could have watched all of Lord of the Rings movies on the way here. But finally, I'm being dramatic. Let's go inside. I felt super awkward filming my way through the store. But I got what I came here for, and now it's time for the journey back. And it is a journey. All right, I got my burrito, so let's take a bite. You know, I've eaten countless of these burritos, but I've never really had a ratatouille moment with them. I only have a limited amount of time for lunch every time, so I'm always just kind of scarfing it down. I mean, I do that to any food anyway, but I've never really taken my time with it. This thing is huge. But first I'm gonna take a bite out of it, and then I'm gonna unwrap it and see what it's like on the inside. I'm gonna really be dissecting this thing. Before I bite into it though, I wanna have some predictions as to what I think it has inside. I think it's gonna have chicken, cheese, sour cream, maybe a little rice and beans. I'm just kidding. I literally ordered this myself. I picked everything out, so I know what's inside. All right, let's do it. Man, that's good. It's a little spicy. It's weird, there's a lot of ingredients in here, but I can taste each individual one. The chicken's a little earthy, and the pico's providing a really nice crunch. I don't know what the spice is. I think it might be coming from either the chicken or the pico. And the rice is like really fresh. I don't know I think it might be cilantro lime rice, but let's unwrap this thing and see what's inside. Okay, so first thing I notice is that it's like a brick. It's packed together like a brick house. This thing is like, you could probably kill someone with this thing. And also there's a lot of cilantro in here. I can see the pico, I can see tomatoes, I can see red onions, more cilantro, and some sort of pepper, I'm not really sure. But I think I don't know. Normal pico calls for serrano pepper, so I think that's what might be in here. I see black beans, of course. See, I ordered white rice, which I see in there, but I see the white rice also has some cilantro in it. And tasting some of it individually, I think it's got some lemon in it, maybe some lime. Yep, and of course the main ingredient, the chicken. I want to taste this on its own just to see what I think it's got in it. It's very earthy. There's I think there's smoked paprika in there. Also some cayenne, maybe some cumin. I don't know, it's going to be really interesting marinating this thing. I don't know, it looks really complicated, but it might be like really basic, so I'm gonna try and see if I can put this thing together. So the PEMDAS of today's operation is chicken, rice, and pico. I'm doing the pico last because I don't want that to just sit on my counter collecting dust, or I don't know. Just feels right, might be wrong, but I'm going with my gut on this one. So if there's one thing I've learned through all my research is that if you're dealing with meat, the first thing you have to do is salt that thing. And as early as possible. So I'm going to salt this chicken and let it rest while I build my marinade. Now I know you guys watching are a lot smarter than I am, so you guys won't dump half the tub into this chicken like I did. And I'm just going to set that aside while I build my marinade. You're supposed to salt like the day before, but your boy tends to forget things. So for the marinade, I'm going to grab a small bowl, and in that small bowl I'm going to be putting together some cayenne, some smoked paprika, some cumin, and a little bit of cinnamon because I was feeling a little crazy. And I don't know, I might surprise myself. And also some salt. Not as much as what I added with the chicken, but you get the idea. Now these are all dry ingredients, which is great, but I wanted kind of a bit of a binder, so I went with tomato paste. I'm hoping that the tomato paste really gives it its color, and of course some of its flavor, but I really want to nail the color. Alright, this marinade's looking like a little thick boy, so time to add my liquid, which is the lemon juice. The acidity of the lemon juice also will break down the meat, tenderize it a little bit, and help the marinade seep in a little bit. Or so I've heard. Guess we're about to find out. Now that they're all in a bowl, it's just time to mix them all together. Mix until they all look mixed. This smells really good. I'm very excited for this chicken, but it looks good, so I'm gonna put it in a little bag. Now for the chicken in the bag, and once that's in, I just kind of massage it and make sure that the marinade gets in every little nook and cranny of this chicken. And that's it, that's my marinade. I'm gonna put it now in the fridge for an hour, and I'll see you guys later. This is gonna sit in my fridge for about an hour, just to let all the juices in there get really into the chicken, you know, really together, really blend in, really penetrate the chicken. While I was waiting for the marinade to do its thing, I went on a little walk around New York. I went to some really cool corporate areas around Grand Central Station, where I did some more walking, and it kind of led me to Central Park. Central Park is nice this time of year because it's no longer winter, so people are out enjoying their day. And if you're lucky, you'll run into some crazy things. Like for example, I saw a couple of medieval knights just fighting in the park. It was really cool, but a little crazy. They were really wailing on each other. But once the jest was over, I continued my walk, till eventually I was in the Lower East Side. And I found myself in the Mercury Lounge at a goth party. Completely random, but there was this dude in there playing the theremin. He looked like he was a member of the Addams Family. I've never seen a theremin in real life, let alone in concert. It was cool, but kinda wasn't my cup of tea. The goth party was really cool, but it was really cold in there. I figured it was because of all the vampires. At this point I had enough, and I was hoping that the marinade did too, so I went back home to continue the recipe. Alright, I'm back from my walk, and I'm just gonna go ahead and get started on my rice. I think for this recipe, 3/4 of a cup will be enough, which is how much I would put in if I was planning on measuring the rice, but I'm not planning on it, so I put in however much this is. The white rice at Chipotle was very clean, so I think I want to rinse this before I add in the water. I rinsed that off camera because my sink feng shui is not very nice, and I don't want to ruin this cool aesthetic I've got going on. Anyway, for the water, you want to add 2 parts water to 1 part rice. So the thing is, I eyeballed the rice, so I'm going to have to eyeball the water. Worry not though. This is like the one thing in cooking I'm extremely cocky about. I've become very good at eyeballing rice measurements. Mainly because I never wanted to buy a rice cooker. Because of the Mr. Krabs tendencies. It's also that Hispanic DNA buff. The trick is to have 1 knuckle's worth of water above the rice line. This works with whatever amount of rice because of science and volume. But I eyeball the knuckle too because, ew, I'm not putting my finger in my rice. I also just spent the day walking around New York City. So since this is cilantro and lime rice, I guess I'm just gonna kind of put cilantro and lime in the rice. I have no idea how that works, so I'm just gonna chop up my cilantro, throw that in the rice, get some lemon juice in there, cut some slices off, and throw that in the rice as well. The next step in the process is to get down on my knees and pray that this works. And then of course, just putting it on the stove to cook. Alright, so while my rice is cooking, I can take my chicken out and start working on that. By now the marinade should have made its way into the fibers of the chicken. Even if it's just for a little bit. I don't think an hour is too long, but should be better than nothing. Just like me. Better than nothing. Alright, now for my favorite part. Taking the chicken out of the marinade. Just gonna cut it open because I think that's what's gonna look the coolest. And oh man, this smells really good. I cannot wait to cook this up. Right now it looks like I've maybe nailed the colors, but I won't really know until it's nice and cooked. To go along with it, I put in some butter and thyme in the pan. I figured this would give it a nice earthy taste. Man, it smells heavenly in here. Heavy on tomato, but a little bit of the chicken's coming through, no big deal. So just gonna take this out of the pan and put it down on the cutting board. It's time to chop, 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 chop. Not gonna go crazy or anything here, not gonna like julienne this or whatever. Just gonna chop it up enough to fit in the burrito, and that's about it. Ain't no thing, ain't no thing. And I'll tell you what though, the color's matching up a little bit. The rice and chicken are about ready, so that means there's only one thing left to make. And that's El Pico. Okay, so the pico shouldn't be too difficult. It's just chopped veggies. I gotta dice these tomatoes, which terrifies me since I have PTSD from my pasta sauce video. But this should be okay, I'm not playing with fire this time. Now my dream of LARPing as a Chipotle worker has finally come true. Except in my fantasy, I control the portions. There's no skimping in this house. Deep down I know that no matter how much food I add, it probably won't end up tasting the same. Chipotle wins once again. Alright, I finally got all my ingredients in. Now it's just time to roll. Crap. Do you guys know how to roll a burrito?
You're then going to want to fold in both the sides and then roll the bottom of the burrito. Now, this is the most important part.
Voila! Cool, this is the final product. I've wrapped it up in some tin foil so that it looks official. And here it is next to a Chipotle burrito for a side-by-side comparison. Virtually indistinguishable, if I may add. Just kidding.
Alright, I guess it's time to taste all that work. And I can't believe I forgot the mozzarella, the beans, and the corn. I'm genuinely disappointed in that. Should have made my list a little better, but well, it's too late to run to the store. So I made the best of what I got, and I mean the chicken's the main ingredient anyway, so let's see if it holds up. I'm gonna do a blind taste test just to see if I can't tell the difference. Just kidding. I made them. I know where they are. That was stupid. That was dumb. I guess I'll start with the Chipotle one just to get a baseline and just to compare it afterwards to see if my burrito holds up. My current prediction is that it won't, but that doesn't mean we can't try. Okay, Chipotle. I know what this tastes like, but just as a reminder, it's so good. There's no chance in hell of matching this, but I mean, it's trial and error, right? A man can try. A man can try, and a man can fail, but a man can sometimes succeed. Will this be one of those times? I doubt it. But let's give it a shot. This looks so sad. Sad little burrito. At least the tin foil makes it look nice. All right. Here we go. Honestly, it's not bad. It's nowhere near Chipotle, don't get me wrong. It's got nothing to do with it. It doesn't taste anything like it, but the flavor's really good. I don't know what I nailed, but I nailed something. It's so good. It's not Chipotle, but it's kind of close. I nailed the chicken, the earthy taste of the chicken. Not as good as Chipotle, but it's still earthy. And that pico, the lemon of that pico, or the rice, I don't know which one it is. They both have lemon. It's coming through in a really nice and fresh way. I imagine that if I had corn, beans, and the cheese, that these would be indistinguishable. I mean, come on. I nerfed myself on purpose because I didn't want to embarrass Chipotle, okay? That's the real reason why I forgot those ingredients, because this is freaking good, man. But now I've got 2 burritos for dinner, and I don't know if I can eat that much. It's a good problem to have. This was a really fun experiment. It was nice to be able to slow down when I eat my food. I usually inhale my food. You can ask any one of my friends. I am a very fast eater. I once ate a double extra large pizza in 7 minutes flat. I'm not even kidding. I have a t-shirt to prove it. So it was really good to slow down and actually savor my food and have a little ratatouille moment with it. You know, from the movie Ratatouille. The movie about the rat making ratatouille. And I'm honestly surprised about myself. I kind of nailed the flavors down a little bit, not exactly 100%, not even 10%, but like 1 or 2%. And that makes me super happy. That means my tongue is in the right place, and so is my heart. I think I'm gonna do this a lot more often, not just with Chipotle, but other restaurants that I like, other dishes that I like, and we'll see what happens. Maybe in a year, I'll be able to reach 5%. Like and subscribe. Thank you for watching.